Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Up the Guts podcast. Joining as always is your host, Tricky. And geez, what even is this season? What are we experiencing right now? I'm down to say this is the best season we have ever seen. It can't even be real. Like, to say that Carlton and Collingwood were in the top four just a few weeks ago, now they're both outside the 8? What? I honestly do not understand what is going on right now. But as always, let's get into debriefing the week. Obviously, the 9 things we have learned. Obviously, shorter episodes now. But we'll go through what we have learned. Got a guest coming up. Not next week, but the week after. We will be recording. We're recording next Sunday. So I will be out. Not next week, but the week after, probably later on in the week, obviously having our AFL content flying in, hoping to get some more people on during the final series. So it's not just my voice you're listening to, but you're hearing other people's voices too. But the first game, obviously, we had was the Friday night game between Sydney and Collingwood, and what a game that was. It was Sydney who came away in the end by 13-11, 13-11-89, defeating the Pies, 12-14-86, and pretty much closing the door on any chance of Collingwood making the 8. Like, it's still mathematically, technically possible that they could make it, but realistically, they're not going to make it, and it's all to do with Sydney. And the lesson I learned from this game is when the game is on the line, the big players stand up and really make a name for themselves, and that's Isaac Heaney and Chad Warner. Isaac Heaney and Chad Warner both had 14 clearances and a goal. 14 disposals and a goal in the last quarter alone. To go along with the 14 disposals, Chad Warner had 5 of his 9 clearances for the game in that last quarter. That is amazing, and it just shows the thing that makes a great player is the people that can stand up in the big moments, and Isaac Heaney and Chad Warner did exactly that, putting a close on Collingwood's chances of playing finals this season. As we moved over to Saturday, it was Brisbane v WS, and surprisingly, it was WS getting the job done over Brisbane's home ground. It was 8-16-64, very inaccurate kicking by the Lions, defeated by the Giants as 13-4-82. And the thing that I notice here is just the Giants' forward line is unreal. So Jesse Hogan, the best player, the best key forward in the game at the moment, he's got the cleanest hands in the game. Darcy Jones, haven't they found someone in his live wire? They got Brent Daniels there. Toby Green was kept quiet by Brendan Starcevich, but he's starting to hit some form. I'm going to be missing some people's names. They obviously got the likes of Jake Riccardi in that, but their forward line is dangerous, and the Giants are coming. That's 6 in a row now for the Giants. And then North Melbourne v West Coast. Quite frankly, how did North Melbourne let this one slip? 14-13-97 were defeated by West Coasters. 15-12, 102. West Coast kicked 3 goals in the last 2 minutes. I can't even fathom put into words. But the thing I learned from this game, even though they lost, I'm putting his name down. Tristan Cherry is All-Australian. He's the All-Australian ruckman. I heard on SEN today they were saying Max Gawn's had his best season in 6 years, but he just hasn't been on the park, and I don't think he's having the impact Tristan Cherry is, especially around the ground. Like, go through some of Tristan Cherry's stats from the weekend. He had 30 disposals to go along with 33 hitouts, 13 clearances, and 12 tackles. His tackles count has been enormous all season. So I think Tristan Cherry is the All-Australian ruckman as we speak right now. Obviously, 2 rounds to go, and we'll find out that later on at All-Australian. Nathan Buckley said on SEN today as well, they have their last meeting of the All-Australian at the Monday after round 24, so that's when they'll make their last decisions, and it'll be announced. I'm pretty sure it's normally announced grand final week, so be interested to see if Tristan Cherry, obviously the All-Australian squad will come out first, and there is no doubt he'll be in that. I'll fall off my seat if he's not in that. I'll say right now, I'll eat a hot chili if he's not in the All-Australian squad. So that's just how confident I am he makes that. And then we had Fremantle v Geelong at Optus Stadium. It was a shocking week for tipping. Fremantle getting the job done. Geelong getting the job done over Fremantle 9-8-62 to 10-13-17. And the thing, 10-13-73. The thing that I learned is the old boy still has it and can still have an impact on a game when he's used right and when he's not rushed. Chris Scott is the best at not rushing, knowing not when to play his players when they need a rest, and he brings him at the right times. And that player is Patrick Dangerfield. 20 disposals. When the game was on the line, Paddy Dangerfield stood up. He had 20 disposals to go along with 11 clearances. He was just explosive best. Obviously, he's not the same player as he was. His body letting him down, but Chris Scott just knows how to manage. He's the best tactical coach in the league and also the best management coach on when to play his right players. Saturday night, Essendon v Gold Coast. And it was Gold Coast who got the win after the siren by the former guest of this show, Mac Andrews. Kick after the siren, 12-14-86. Essendon defeated by Gold Coast, 13-9-87. And the thing I learned from this game is, could Mac Andrew be the best swingman in the AFL right now or even in the coming years? And where do we see Mac Andrew playing? I want to say that I'll see him as one of the best intercept players in the game down back. But he's making such a presence up forward, and he can go in the ruck too. He's so athletic. He's probably the best athlete we have in our game, but could he be the best swingman that in the game in the next 5 to 10 years going forward? Melbourne Port Adelaide was just a snore fest, let's be real. But 7-9-51 Melbourne went down to Port Adelaide 7-11-33. The question we have now, the thing we learned is never to, as I said, it's been an amazing season. Everything's happened, but this is even for an example. When Port lost to Brisbane back in round 15 by 79 points at the Adelaide Oval, we're just like, Port can't win it. They've now gone on to win 6 of their last 7, and they've won them all pretty convincingly, bar this game. This game was, don't even count it, it was just a shocking game to watch. Melbourne need to do something about it. But yeah, Port Adelaide could be dangerous. It's funny to see that not long ago, we were going, I'll put my hand up, I'll say it, I thought Ken Hinkley was done and we we're going for his head. And now now they're in the top 4. We put so much expectation on him. It's almost like they're saying Ken Hinkley has to win a grand final or his job's gone. And that's crazy to see. I think we judge Ken Hinkley so harshly, and he just continues and continues to prove people wrong. But no matter what, he'll still be judged harshly. It's a really tough job to be the Port Adelaide coach at the moment, or to be Ken Hinkley. And we move over to Sunday, and wasn't this extraordinary? 5 at Carlton, 5-8-38, went down to Hawthorn by 74 points, 16-16, 112. Are Hawthorn the most dangerous team? They are now inside the 8. Are they the most dangerous team outside of the 4 that could give a run for the money for the flag? Like, what have they got? They've got Sicily down there. They haven't got a real big, key, tall defender, but they've got Sicily down there who just mounds it. Josh Weddle playing off a wing, kicked 3 goals and a magnificent one from the boundary. You got Jack Ginnivan, he's looking so much fitter than he's ever have been. Former guest Nick Watson just applying that pressure. 4 goal assists on the weekend. The Wiz. Mario Chol is just turned in and on. And Dylan Moore, all Australian form. So are Hawthorn the most dangerous team outside of that 4? I wouldn't want to be playing them if I was someone like a Brisbane. Another snore fest was Richmond and St Kilda. Richmond 7-9-51 were defeated by St Kilda 15-9-99 by 48 points. The key thing from here was Rowan Marshall's having a secretly underrated season, I think. He's just an impact, like a Tristan Terry. He gets around the grounds. So he had 25 here to go along with 23 disposals and 3 goals. If St Kilda went for another ruckman, could they play Rowan Marshall as a second ruck and more of a forward option? Because he looks to be a bit more damaging. And the last game of the round, we had Adelaide v the Western Bulldogs. And this is a game that the Bulldogs needed to win, and they failed, which could put a line through their season or put their season up for grabs now, because there's no certainty that they'll make the 8 now. And it was Adelaide getting it done by 39 points, 17-9, 111, defeated an inaccurate 9-18-72 Western Bulldogs. And the thing that I learned from this game is Adelaide are a so much better side and so much better and so much different side when Isaac Rankin is in that side. And he is now not a forward who goes in the midfield. He's a midfielder who goes in forward because he's damaged around the ball. It's just too influential not to be having there. Now, as we go, we'll have a look at the ladder as we sit going into round 23. So as we sit, obviously Sydney on top, then it's Port Adelaide, GWS, Geelong all on 56 points. That's the top four. Then Brisbane in 5th on 54 points. Fremantle in 6th on 50 points. Western Bulldogs in 7th on 48 points. Hawthorn in 8th on 48 points. And Carlton in 9th on 48 points. Then it's Essendon, Collingwood, Gold Coast, Melbourne, St Kilda, Adelaide, West Coast, North Melbourne, and Richmond. All right, let's get into, as I say, these episodes when it's on my own, it's going to be nice, short and sharp, so we'll get through them nice and quickly. Let me know if you like this format a bit better. So it's probably better. It's nice to listen to in the car, I reckon, just when you need something to get out and short and sharp. And it's also good viewing because you're not sitting there for the 45 minutes, an hour like some of the other episodes going. But let me know, do you guys like this, or do you still want me to go in and dissecting more of the games even when I'm on my own, or just the 1 point that I learned from each game? Is that enough? Just let me know in the comments, or shoot us a message on Instagram, _, or reply, put in a question. There's an option where you can comment or leave a question in the Spotify. Leave something there, and I'll be sure to read it and take that on board. But the round 22 team of the week, let's start off with the full back line. Luke Ryan, James Sicily, Josh Battle is the full back line. Half back line, Colby McKercher, Jeremy McGovern, and Daniel Rioli. Centre line, Massimo D'Ambrosio, as Stevie Johnson would say, makes him think of eating a curry. Chad Warner in the centre and Lockie Scholl on the other wing. My half forward line consists of Dylan Moore, Mac Andrew, and Josh Weddle. Full forward line, Cozzy Pickett, Oscar Allen, Darcy Fogarty. My mid followers are Tristan Cherry, Isaac Heaney, and Matt Rowell. My interchange is Rowan Marshall, Caleb Sarong, who did it differently, kicking the 3 goals with the 21 disposals, Jason Horne-Francis, who was just influential when the game was on the line for Port Adelaide, and Harry Sheasel, who, again, is just having an extraordinary year. Great listen of the podcast with him and Dill Buckley on Dylan Friends. If you haven't listened to that, make sure to go. It's just extraordinary how tuned together he is for a second-year player. But do you know we know what time it is now. It's time for Marty Party 22. Let's go. Now, last week's winner of the Marty Party 22, it didn't look like it was going to be at one point, but Jeremy Cameron ended up coming home for the win. So, well done, Jeremy Cameron gets added to the squad. Now, this week, your 2 choices. One was a no-brainer. Friend of the show. Kicked the goal after the siren. Shush the Essendon crowd. It's Mac Andrew. Mac Andrew joins the decisions to possibly be added into the squad there. And I'm just trying to... This is bad. Oh, that's right. I was just trying to remember who it was. But this is a guy who ripped the heart out of Collingwood in the last quarter too. The other option is going to be Chad Warner. So, Mac Andrew or Chad Warner will be in there. And the players we have there at the moment, as I go to my list, and Jeremy Cameron's been added. So this is what we got at the moment. Got Tom Liberatore, Luke Jackson, James Warple, Connor Rosie, Jordan DeGoey, Jake Waterman, Harley Reid, Darcy Jones, Nick Dacos, Peter Dacos as team manager. He'll be sure to be a good chauffeur. Chaperone, getting on the drinks. Christian Petrarca, Jeremy McGovern, Toby Green, Patrick Cripps, the guy who this was named after and started, Joel Amati, George Wardlaw, Patrick Cripps, Callum Wilkie, Jamar Ugle-Hagan, Jeremy Cameron, and then it's going to either be Mac Andrew or Chad Warner. Well, that's going to wrap up the episode today. Thank you guys for listening. Again, let me know in the comments if this is something you like, a bit shorter and sharper when it's a solo episode, but if we do get people on to talk more, especially going into finals, it will be longer, back to that 45 minutes to an hour. So make sure you follow us on all our socials at @UpTheGuts_ on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Make sure on YouTube, if you're listening on Spotify, turn the notification bell on and follow us. Same with on Apple Podcasts. Make sure you got your notification bell on YouTube as well, and subscribe. I'm also posting all my clips from when I do my commentary around in the Outer East, all my shorts. So be sure to stay tuned for that, as that's getting a lot of traction. So I'm going to keep posting that, as you guys seem to be enjoying that. But until next week, see ya.